An Uber employee has told Uber, we need to do right by our drivers. Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur, and in a letter, an open letter that surely could not be coming at a worse time for Uber, at the height where the strike and the dissatisfaction of the drivers are at its peak, there is actually an Uber employee who has written an open letter to Uber basically confirming we don't treat our drivers right and we need to do right by them. And here's the letter from 10. Now, it's signed by an employee of Uber. Apparently it's anonymous, but the editor of this website has confirmed that they do indeed work for Uber. I'm actually perfectly okay with this right now, protecting the source, because Uber would not hesitate to fire this person if they know who wrote it. But the fact that they did write it, here's the thing. If Uber discovers who this employee is and fires them, and the person becomes public, this puts Uber in a really big bind, because it kind of lets people know that there are people within the company that do not agree with the way the drivers are treated. And not only that, they admit the drivers are the company, and without them, they have nothing. So we're going to read the letter without commentary, and then we're going to go over some high points. So after this notification that the letter has been authenticized, sorry, I know I messed that word up. I am an Uber employee and I support the driver strikes. The strikes called on Monday by Rideshare Drivers United, RDU, in Southern California and Gig Workers Rising in San Francisco are a sign of the deep frustration many rideshare drivers feel, and which, amid ongoing conversations with colleagues, it is clear many internal Uber employees share, about the treatment of those workers that provide the service at the core of our business. As an employee at the world's leading rideshare company, I see firsthand not only the often meager earnings of our drivers, but also the exploitative labor practices imposed on a systematically disempowered workforce. I, therefore, stand with the striking drivers in calling for the implementation of RDU's Driver Bill of Rights, while rideshare executives continue to receive vast remuneration, I'd probably mess that up, packages, and internal employees look forward to an IPO windfall at both Uber and Lyft, my sympathetic colleagues and I will not remain silent as drivers are squeezed in order to shore up initial offerings to investors. Our drivers are the backbone of the platform. Without them, as these courageous strikes have demonstrated, our business would come to a standstill. For this reason, we will not stand by those at work at the heart of our business are attacked and exploited. We demand that all of our drivers are fairly remunerated and they gain greater transparency about how their earnings are calculated, that they are guaranteed greater protections, and that their collective voice is heard in the boardroom. As tech workers, we share more in common with the drivers that support the platform than the company executives that spend millions ensuring that rideshare companies and other in the so-called gig economy can continue to bend the law and exploit workers. We therefore reject the two-tiered division of labor that denies a driver the basic workers' rights afforded to internal employees and call for the full implementation of the Dynamex decision in California. We call on all tech workers to support the actions of rideshare drivers in their mission for fair pay, dignity, and respect, and we demand the immediate reversal of the pay cut imposed on drivers in Los Angeles and Orange counties. Pretty powerful letter. Now, some people might be pointing out, well, how can you really have our back? I mean, you're anonymous. Who knows? This could just be a protester. Well, again, according to the editor at the beginning, the authenticity of the following anonymous op-ed has been verified by Medium's editorial staff. So they have confirmed this. And if that is true, because I'm sure that if they were brought to a court of law and forced to prove that this was real, they could do it. And that's a situation that Uber probably wouldn't want confirmed, because if it was confirmed, this looks really bad for them. It kind of suggests that, because here it is, an Uber employee basically saying, no, we're not doing this right. The drivers are backbones. They are what keep the company flowing. We are screwing them. We need to treat them better. And Uber's about to go public. You don't want your own employees saying this sort of thing. And I bet you there's more that feel like this. And I assume that if push came to shove, some people might actually stand with us. I don't know for certain. At least this person was inspired enough to write this letter, anonymous Uber employee, and sign it. Who knows? Now let's look at some of the points that were in this thing. Let's see here. First of all, kudos to Rideshare Drivers United and Gig Workers Rising. These two groups are kicking some serious butt. It has been a week later and we're still talking about their strikes. We are still talking about what they are doing, and having spoken to some of them, I know some of the behind the scenes stuff that's coming up next. I'm not going to share them here, but they've got some major things to announce at some point. And which, among ongoing conversation, it is clear many internal Uber employees share. Here's the other thing. I see firsthand not only the meager earnings of our drivers, but the exploitative labor practice imposed on a systematically disempowered workforce. That's a pretty damning sentence right there. An insider saying, I see firsthand, the drivers are getting little money and they are screwed and they are disempowered. And he called them a workforce, which is what we are. If you say I'm an independent contractor, I'm sorry, you're not. Have you not been paying attention? You know what? Yeah, you're doing good. Like, I'm making $2,000 a week. I'm making this much a year. Then Uber says, hey, we're going to cut the rate on your destination filter. Before you know it, oh, now all of a sudden, magically, you're losing $200 a month, over $1,000 a year. Just like that. Your employees. So what else is in here? My sympathetic colleagues and I will not remain silent as drivers are squeezed in order to shore up initial offerings to investors. There's two things being said in that sentence. First, that yes, these cuts are to prop up the value of Uber for the potential investors. But the other thing is that suggests that they will not remain silent, that at one point they will speak if this isn't taken care of or addressed. So we could be seeing more Uber employee confessions about how the drivers are being screwed. The drivers are the backbone of our platform. What's interesting about this is that this is something that Uber says all the time, yet acts like it isn't a reality. They say all the time, the drivers are our backbone. They are what keep the company alive, and then always refuse to make the changes that would make the drivers' lives better. But here's the thing, this person takes a step further. Without them, as these courageous strikes have demonstrated, our business would come to a standstill. Now, here's the thing. The strikes did not bring Uber to a standstill by any stretch of the imagination, not even close. But when you watch that live stream I did of it and all the people there, you could get the sense that, oh boy, they could. If more people did that, they could do that. In fact, Jay on the Rideshare Guy did make a video about this, and Jay was in it. And Jay said the drivers have power to shut Uber down, and they should wield that power, or something to that effect. And now you have an Uber employee basically saying the same thing. Yeah, you guys could bring this company to a standstill, and then it wouldn't be worth anything. You just have to not drive. That's the only thing. Which I know for some people that's hard, but you know. What else? By the way, it's also funny that this guy is admitting, or maybe it's a girl, we don't know, admit that there is really no transparency in how the earnings are calculated. In fact, I kind of touched upon that because Uber did that blog post on Monday about how they're making the app more transparent about earnings, and even said that, oh, we put how much we took in the app. It's like, no, it's not in the app. It's on the website, and you have to dig to find it. So, anyway, this is not the kind of letter Uber wants, especially now. And these strike people, I have to be honest, they are impressing me. They have kept the message out there. I have never seen a strike and the message be talked about for more than an afternoon. This is amazing. So this is why I keep getting excited that maybe something might actually happen. And knowing some of the other things that are happening behind the scenes that I can't talk about just yet, but I will when they happen, and when I'm given the go-ahead to, of course. I promise I will. But yeah, you guys might want to go to Rideshare Drivers United and join, or Gig Workers Rising, although I think RDU seems to be doing a slightly better job. But I would really like the companies to work together, because we're all on the same page. We all want to get paid better, and we want to be treated fairly. So anyway, that's where we're going to leave that one. And now, what do you folks think? What do you think of this letter? Do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it? Are there any other Uber employees, if you can remain anonymous, that agree with this? Or are there any Uber employees that, hey, you don't agree with this? What is the feeling like in Uber when it comes to the drivers? Do they respect us or do they not respect us? I would love to know. So comment below. Like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy my videos, consider becoming a Patreon member. It's totally optional, of course, but even as little as $1 a month goes a long way to helping the channel run smoothly and you'll get access to my Patreon's exclusive blog. Also, don't forget to check out my Apptrepreneur Vlogs channel, where more news stories are coming in the coming weeks, and the Apptrepreneur Hangouts on Facebook. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.